Mariah here. It's such a pleasure, honor, and a privilege to be reading for you as always. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are doing really great. So let's get into your reading. I want to see what's going on with you guys. What's happening, what Spirit needs you to know, whatever it may be. So let's see where you are right now, and then let's see where you're headed or where you're going. So Spirit guides for my Leos. Tell me where my Leos are currently at right now. Where are they currently at upon their path in life? Tell me about thank you, the Fool. It's so crazy because I did a Patreon reading and Fool was the first card out. Same thing. Let's get one more here for my Leos. Where are my Leos at currently right now? Thank you. 6 of Wands. Whoo. Damn. Excuse my language. Sorry. The first thing that came to my head, what I heard was from survival mode to significance. And that's where you are, Leo. You're on the precipice. You're taking a risk. You're trusting in yourself. You're trusting in the universe. You're in the space right now where it's like, if it's meant to be, it will be. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. I cannot change. I can't change certain things. So all I can really do is go with the flow of how a life takes me, where life allows me to be. So significant. For some of you, you may be, as of right now, experiencing either some great new change, maybe some great new opportunity, maybe you are getting recognized or you're getting ready to be. But this is where you're at right now. So either this would have just happened or it's getting ready to happen sometime within this week or within the next couple of weeks, like as of like right now, where it's like something you may have been wanting, whether it's that career, whether it's that home, whether it's the finances, maybe even in your love life. Whatever brings you a sense of victory or feeling like, "Ooh, finally I can just wipe the sweat off my face because finally it's done. Finally I was able to accomplish this, or finally the motion is being set forward so I can reach that victory and I can reach that success." But I have to go back to that Fool because you just don't get to the Fool overnight. Even though the Fool is the first card in the tarot deck, you just don't get to the Fool overnight. It takes a lot to have a lot of trust in the universe and the faith, just because by nature as humans, we don't like to not have some sense of control when it comes to our outcomes. We like to know what's going to happen. Mind you, this is why we're watching tarot here, right? But we like to have a sense of knowing what's getting ready to happen, where we're getting ready to leap, what's getting ready to occur for us. But I have to rewind this back a bit here because, again, I heard from survival mode to significance. So I have to ask you a couple of things, if you don't mind me. I don't want to intrude on your personal space, Leo, but I have to ask you a couple of things if you don't mind. Because the Leos that I am speaking with today, I guess I would ask you to recall some of the most trying times, some of the most difficult times, some of the most stressful times. And in those moments, wondering if it's going to come to an end, when it's going to come to an end. When am I not going to have to stress about a circumstance? When am I not going to have to stress about a certain outcome? When is my circumstances going to improve? When are my circumstances going to get better? Will it ever get better? Am I just doomed to this fate? Am I doomed to this reality? Why am I always having to deal with these hurdles? Or why am I being dealt this hand of difficulties that may feel unwarranted, may feel unfair, or just may feel so monumental that it's impossible to overcome? If we go back to those most imperative times that really challenged us, really may have put us in a box or made us feel like there's no way that I can get this handled or I can do this, or just even dealing with your own emotional or psychological warfare, right? Where it's like, getting up is hard, getting through the day is hard. Trying to still hold on to faith and keep a positive outlook is hard because of the stress that you may have had to bear. But through them circumstances, and this is why I actually recall those moments, because through those circumstances, it's hard to see, of course, as cliche as it is, the light at the end of the tunnel. But if we look in comparison to where we may have been when we're dealing with a lot of difficulties and dealing with a lot of strife, where we're heading and where we're at as of right now, it's like you're coming out of that cycle, whether it's been decades long, whether it's been just years long, whether it's been weeks long, months long. We're coming out of that phase of life of feeling like, God, excuse my language, but holy shit. When can I catch a break? Can this area of life, or can my life in general just ease up a little bit on me? Just show me a little mercy. I can't keep handling this. And when we go through those difficult times, because we have to wear our armor, because we have to fight ourselves against the world, or against a person, or against our finances, or against our job situation, or against our family, even down to some of us, maybe our children, where it's like we have to be in battle mode or in warrior mode. It's like you're now getting this chance, because that chapter of those experiences are coming to a close, or we can breathe and we can finally exhale. But I guess I would have to consider, with that being said, and even though that armor may have served you and bode you really well during those times, to really keep your endurance and really keep your perseverance going, the chapter that you're moving into, you don't have to wear the armor. So I just have to highlight that, because when we're moving into this new chapter, it's going to be really helpful that you are able to be free and not operate into this new chapter, this new state of life, or your new cycle you're going into in survival mode. Because what it is here, especially with the Six of Wands, again, this is getting that job. This is getting that business up and running. This is making that move or that transition. This is getting the finances, the opportunity. And again, for some of you, even getting the love that you finally have deserved, that you may have been in survivor mode over in regards to maybe difficult connections in the past, or finally getting what it is that you want after maybe having to deal with the lack of finances, or having to deal with uncomfortable or unstable situations, with having to deal with unfair things that are being thrown your way, or having to wear the burdens of other people or life itself. You're now being able to, if you will, be set free. And because you've dealt with all of that and you're coming out on the other side, it's like you may have experienced in those difficult times when trying to make changes, or trying to force your will, or trying to make things work, you may have been met with a dead end or brick wall after brick wall. And that's really shaped you to say, you know what, I stressed myself out trying to make changes to circumstances that I couldn't change. And I can no longer put myself in that position to stress myself out about things that I just cannot change. When life gives us those ebbs and flows, we just got to go with the motion. And that's the space that you're in. So what's coming in for you then, Leo? Where's Leo headed, Spirit? I love the Fool and the Six of Wands being here. So let's see, Leo, where are my Leos headed? I'm hearing that, oh my God, what is that old? It's like that old cheesy 90s song that they used to play at like sports games. It's like, are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know why that cheesy song came to my head, but it did. So we got the Nine of Cups in the reverse. We also have the Four of Swords in the reverse. Where are my Leos headed? Thank you. We also have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Let's get two more. Where else is my Leos heading? Ooh, Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And we also have the Knight of Wands, which is a Knight of Fire in this deck. And lastly, we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse. I just want to see briefly, why is this Nine of Cups in the reverse? And there you go. Queen of Wands. Judgment in the reverse right underneath that. You're aiming to kill. You're aiming to kill. You got, again, like I said, you're on the precipice. Whatever this is that you're experiencing now, again, you're moving into new uncharted territory, but it is what you want, and it is going to bring you some form of notoriety, recognition, praise, even if it's not on a massive scale, even if it's just you recognizing yourself and praising yourself and being proud of yourself, whether it is in work, family, career, finances, being able to finally shine and get what it is that you've been wanting. but you're aiming to kill. So you know the direction of where you're heading. So this is not something that you're not privy to. You already know where either the universe is trying to guide you, where you're trying to guide yourself, or where you're already being intuitively led. You're in alignment with it. The interesting part about this is how you're handling this more on the emotional and psychological space. You're in this really beautiful balance of hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. And I still have to say, be cautious with that, because we can create self-fulfilling prophecies, right? And I'm looking at you getting what you want. But when we still have that mindset of like, okay, well, I still got to prepare just in case. Remember what I told you, be cautious of bringing that survivor mode energy into this new energy, because that's exactly what that mindset is. It's just in case it doesn't work out, I got to have plan B, C, D, E, et cetera, so that way I can still move ahead. If it's meant for you, and I say this as many times as need be, when something is truly meant for you, when something is truly destined for you, it will not evade you, it will not pass you. And even more importantly, the universe will align that situation to happen for you so beautifully in a domino effect, where it may almost feel like there's too many coincidences to not notice that, okay, this is getting ready to happen for me. So when it's truly yours to have, I don't care what this is, you can apply this to any area of your life, you will have it. Undoubtedly. Love, finances, career, personal goals and achievements, undoubtedly. But you're in this balance, which I do think is beautiful, of not being overly optimistic and you're not pessimistic. But this is what you wish for, but you're not trying to be so far left and, oh my God, and the whole fantasy of it, the whole idealism of it, that you may fall off a pedestal, right? Just in case. And again, we still have to be cautious of that mindset. So because your line of sight is on something here, and I see you moving towards it, there's nothing that's going to be blocking you from getting this. 7 of Wands in the reverse. There's nothing that's going to block you from getting this. I would be cautious, and I feel like I've told you this recently in the last video, but I would be cautious, like really cautious of being in your head about this and feeling restless about this, because it does feel like there may be some challenges, not anything that's going to be negatively impactful to this outcome that you're already got your line of sight on. It doesn't feel like there's a negative consequence involving with that situation, but it more so feels like the mind may kind of play tricks on us, right? Where the mind may want to step back, or the mind may feel like, oh, am I going the right direction? Am I sure? Are we sure? I'm not. Just be cautious. Again, moderation, be in a balance, be in some form of temperance when it comes to the thoughts, when it comes to the mind. Because again, if it wasn't meant for you, the universe wouldn't be aligning this up for you. The universe wouldn't be opening these doors for you. And the universe would not be making this happen in a way that may almost feel auspicious. So don't doubt it. And then I have to ask you another question here. How much do you trust yourself? And I mean sincerely, how much do you really trust yourself? You can say you trust yourself a lot. You can say you don't. But when you really do trust yourself, and if your gut knows that you're moving in the right direction, or this is the right path for you, you trust yourself despite anybody else's saying of, no, Leo, you shouldn't do this, or no, maybe you want to reconsider, or maybe no, that's not the best, of other people putting their fears onto you. You blur that out, right? And you're able to still move forward because you trust your own intuition enough that you know that the universe is not going to lead you down a path that you're not meant to go. And even when those paths are a bit bumpy, there's always those lessons that the universe needs you to learn, so that way you can continue down that path in a more effective way. So last question before I do go here, because I don't know why I feel like I need to ask you questions, but I guess introspective thoughts, right? To really go inside and really think about some things. That's just what I feel like I have to do with you on this reading. I guess I would ask you, Leo, if you were to look back at your life and you were to look at the period or the time frame that was the highlight of your life, what was that experience like? What do you recall from that time in your life? Maybe some of you haven't experienced the highlight of your life yet, or a time period that was a highlight for you. Maybe others of you have. I asked you that specifically because of what you're getting ready to head into. And this is going to be a very unique thinking point when you do get into this new phase in comparison to that highlight point that you've experienced. because again, life goes up in ebbs and flows. But it does feel like this new chapter that you're moving into, if you thought that that time period was the highlight of your life, you ain't see nothing yet. You ain't see nothing yet. And I know these cards here, they may not be the most outgoing, like the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, the, what else? 6 of Swords, 4 of Wands, whatever it is you can think of, the Chariot, right? Some of the more success-based cards or happy-based cards. I know that's not what's here, but that's not what's meant to be highlighted, because that life experience that you're moving into is a given. We don't need to highlight that in the cards. What needs to be highlighted is more so of the psychological aspects or the introspective aspects of when you get into this new area of life, and how we can really sustain, maintain, and keep that new place that we're going to be in life. So again, if you were to look back at the highlight peak that you may have experienced thus far, you have not seen nothing yet. And I do love this Judgment being here, because it just reminds me of your guides, your angels, your ancestors really being present with you and really walking you through the cycle. Again, you're not alone, and it's going to require a lot of trust within yourself. So that's why I wanted to ask you, how much do you trust yourself, Leo? And it is also going to require you to remove that survivor mode, armor, shield, helmet that you got on. And that's why I also asked that question about that. So that way you can flow into this new phase that you're moving into peacefully and able to comfortably get acclimated into this new cycle you'll be dealing with. So again, 6 of Wands and the Fool, you are literally going into what it is that you have been desiring. So good luck, Leo. I love you. You be safe. You take care. You be well. Bye.